What was the most horrific game of truth or dare you've ever played? Welcome to WTFRed, the only AskReddit channel that will blow your mind. Like and subscribe right now to support Pepe's career as an independent musician. We, 3 guys and 3 girls, were all in the hot tub at this chick's house, and I get dared to go mash my donk/balls up against her parents' bedroom window. Granted, it's like 1 AM, and the whole house is completely dark, so I thought it would be no big deal. Get out of the hot tub, run over to the window, drop my suit, and smash my junk up against the window for a few moments. Then, in the reflective light of the pool, I catch a glimpse of her parents sitting right inside the window, watching us from inside. They didn't even blink, just watched me. It was ducking terrifying. Terrifying. Like, I saw them for a split-ducking second as the light passed over the glass, just inches away from my mashed up donk on the other side of the window. Something from a horror movie. I gasped and ran back to the hot tub, got back in, and just sat there in complete silence. A couple minutes later, her dad comes outside laughing, hands me a beer, and then reminisces with all of us for a minute about the crazy shit he did when he was a kid. I've never felt a shock like I did when I saw their faces. It still haunts me sometimes, but it all turned out better than expected. I was 25. When I was in 6th grade, I was dared to let these 3 girls tie me, spread eagle to the bed, clothed, and do anything they wanted for 10 minutes. I thought they would do something exy. Instead they spent 10 minutes dropping different objects onto my nuts, from varying heights. One girl dropped a heavy tape dispenser on me, which made me cry. I never really had a horrible game of truth or dare, but one time in the 8th grade my friend dared a friend of mine to give me a lap dance, and as it was happening I quietly whispered in her ear, "That's what daddy likes," and she got off and ran. It wasn't a game of truth or dare, but something kinda like it. You put one person in the middle of a ring of people, and they ask questions to the people around them. The object of the game is for the person in the middle to guess the rules of the game. Everyone else already knows the rules. So the rules of the game are pretty easy. 1. When asked a question, you answer to the best of your ability for the person next to you. 2. If the person answering for you gets it wrong, you say, "Bullshit," and the side that you are answering for reverses. Instead of answering for the person on your left, you go right. So needless to say things got stranger right away. The girl in the middle was getting creeped out and confused. I remember she asked me, "How big is your penis?" And I answered for the girl sitting next to me, "I don't have one. Duh." So she's getting really frustrated. Finally she turns to her brother who was also playing. She asked him, "Have you ever had a sexual fantasy about me?" He takes a very slow look at the guy sitting beside him, turns back to her, and completely deadpan he replies, "I'm having one right now." We had to stop playing after that. Pick dare. They dared me to hold my finger in a car door while they slammed it shut. Broke my finger. Edit. I get it everyone. I'm a dumbass. In my defense, I did it in the name of 6th grade love. Ha ha ha. This just sucks. Your friends don't know how to play the damned game. Ma, we were in like 6th grade, and I was trying to impress the girls we were playing with. It was my own fault for agreeing. It got me a girlfriend for about 3 days though, until she decided she didn't like me anymore. The only time I have ever played truth or dare was at a camping trip in year 6, 5th grade. One night, I was invited over to the popular tent where all of the popular boys and girls were playing a game of truth or dare. After about 10 minutes of watching people make out and shit, the boy who invited me dared a girl, whom I had a crush on, to kiss me. She ran out of the tent, screaming. Whilst everybody laughed, I silently excused myself and cried myself to sleep. Playing in a group of girls, all around 13 to 14 years old. The most kind-hearted girl there with the sweetest face, cute little curls and freckles, is dared to take a dump on a plate in front of the rest of us. No hesitation. Just giggles. "Okay, where's the plate?" The girl whose house it was then proceeds to keep said plate in the basement freezer for a couple weeks, for science, until her mom found it. I don't know if they kept the plate. I was 12 or 13. I was at my step-aunt's house. There were a lot of young adults around, and then my aunt. She asked truth or dare. I said, truth. She asked me if I wanted to sleep with her. Edit 0. I actually said, you, no, or something like that. I was blunt and immediate with my response. Edit, she was in her 30s or 40s, I'm guessing. Edit 2. I seriously didn't expect this much attention, and I never really told anyone that story before. Nothing happened, she was kinda gross. She was the only adult in the circle, and I was the oldest person in the circle. She was kind of entertaining the kids, and teaching them how to play. Nobody in the game really understood what she was asking me. Edit 3. I also had a step-aunt on the other side that asked me, at about the same age, how's your dog coming in? Do you want to put it to use? And that time I actually told my stepmom about it, and she explained it away, something about her having a miscarriage and not being all there. We always did a pair of dares. I had to get sprayed by this mace that is used in correctional facilities, almost looked like a fire extinguisher, or call my friend's mom and ask her on the date. I chose the mace, primarily because I thought she'd accept. I was tied to a chair in only my underwear covered in peanut butter, and they put me about 6 feet from the door and ordered a pizza. He wouldn't open the door when I was yelling at him that it was open. After about 3 minutes he finally did, and he was pretty terrified. I told him the money was in the pocket of the jacket hanging up, and that he could keep the change. He asked if I needed help, and I said, nah, my friends will come back eventually, I am just really hungry. The dude set the pizza in my lap, which I thought was okay, until he left and it started to burn really bad. I was okay. My friends all came out of hiding after he left, and just busted up laughing. There is a video of it somewhere. As it turns out, I would work at that same pizza place for about 2 years. The guy who delivered it worked there and didn't recognize me, until I asked him about his weirdest delivery story. I laughed for a while and told him it was me, and I did it because of a dare. He didn't really look at me the same ever again. TLDR, mostly naked, tied to chair, covered in peanut butter, ordered pizza. 2 friends who had dated in a group of 8 or so. The guy was trying to badger his ex with increasingly uncomfortable questions. What do you see in him? Why do you like anal? Why don't you love me anymore? That ducking sucked. Betty's a blast at parties. Not truth or dare, but a bad I never story. Playing after prom my junior year, when I made the horrible choice of saying, I never cheated on anyone I was dating. One guy who was there with a friend drinks, and then it gets to a girl who takes a drink who had been dating a friend of ours for years. We're all agape at this point when she turns to him and says, we should probably talk. I felt like the biggest asshole ever. There was this farm party when I was around 15 years old. Everyone was told to bring different types of alcohol or they'd regret it. Guess who forgot to bring alcohol? So the person who didn't bring any alcohol had to be subject to one dare, no pussing out, no limits. Basically I had no choice or say in the dare, I could only agree and do it. So, in the middle of the party, the host, girl who was same age as me, shouts that it's time for Brocataco to do the dare. She gets all her girlfriends together, and they plan the most embarrassing, exposing, devious dare ever. You have to let us blindfold you, tie you up, and do whatever we want for 15 minutes. Edit, here's what happened. It felt like they were putting cold water on me. They told me it was ketchup, mustard, and other shit like peanut butter. Eventually they started to get pervy ideas, and soon enough my pants are being pulled off. I feel the cold water again, but on my schlong. I freaked out, mainly because they whispered to take pictures. I'll never know if they did, but it was embarrassing as hell, and I was really nervous of nudes circulating or something. Someone said, we still have like 10 minutes left, what else can we do? And I hear my friend's voice say, lick it off. I literally thanked God for his existence right then and there, because without him I wouldn't have gotten a BJ that night. I got dared to answer the door and pay for the pizza we ordered completely naked. Whatever. Easy, right? The doorbell rings. I strip down quickly, and I grab the cash to pay for the pizza, but the pizza guy was not waiting at the door. It was the mom of one of the girls at the party. She had come to pick her up early, only to find me at the door naked. Her husband was a church minister. The party ended pretty quickly when she called all the other parents to pick up their kids. Good times. Duck all these dare stories. Truth is the ducking worst. You have just a couple of drinks, think you're with your best friends, and then the next thing you know, everybody at school knows you think Victoria's feet are cute. Duck this game. Pissed, in a pub, dared a drunken friend to swim the canal by the pub. This is in Liverpool, UK, in the middle of winter. He stripped bollock naked, and did it. When he got out, he had no discernible genitalia whatsoever. This was 20 plus years ago, and I can still see his white ass sticking out of the pretty ducking rancid canal water. I was right at the beginning of middle school. We were starting to play truth or dare at birthday parties. We were playing a variation that I think in the US is called X Minutes in Heaven. Anyways, I think it was my turn for the heaven thing. I was so rooting for the beautiful girl I had a crush with. Instead it gets to a really weird looking girl I wasn't attracted to at all. In my head I'm really let down. This girl wasn't attractive at all. Suddenly the girl starts bawling and runs out screaming something along the lines of, "Not with him." Yeah. The only time that I have ever played truth or dare was with a group of hyper-religious people. I was kinda indifferent, but I started playing just to placate them. The wildest question that I heard before I quit from sheer boredom was, how many times have you ever said the J word? I kid you not. And keep in mind that they are not 7 years old, they are all over the age of 18. Edit, everybody is asking what the J word is. It is Jesus. Edit 2, everybody is asking why saying Jesus is bad, using it in prayer is okay. The thing that isn't okay is using it as a swear word. I was playing truth or dare with a girl I liked on my trampoline, when she dared me to eat a dandelion, one of the white nasty ones, that the wind hasn't blown away yet. A couple rounds later I dared her to kiss me. She said nope, and made me come up with a new dare. I just ate a ducking dandelion hoping I would get a kiss playing this game. I was 24 when this happened. I was dared to climb a friend's apartment balcony in nothing but boxers and sneakers. I executed this task with top Spider-Man-like efficiency, until another inebriated friend stepped out and began to piss off of the balcony not knowing I was just below. Needless to say, anti-piss instincts kicked in and I dropped 2 stories down into the parking lot. My profanities were heard echoing for miles around that night. Not knowing. You know, thinking back to it, I'm willing to bet that while I was outside stripping down and getting ready to climb, that ducker was inside daring the other ducker to go piss off the balcony. I've got such great friends. Haha. For the record, I got them back one day. I walked into a bar restroom and found both of them side by side at urinals. They were the only 2 urinals in the restroom. So I roared, "I told you not to use my urinal." Grabbed my friend on the left by his shoulders and swung him to the right, causing my other friend to get drenched in his piss. It was glorious, golden vengeance. First real party was when I was 11 or something, and I was really excited because everyone else was 16 or so. Anyway, we play truth or dare and it starts out fine, but escalates quickly. Someone gets a dare to motorboat some girl there. They are both fine with it, but mid-motorboat, her parents open the door to find a room full of teens, watching a kid shoving his face in their daughter's breasts. When I turned 17, me and my friends got together to drink some 40s. I liked the one girl who came, and thought tonight would be the night I made a move. We decided to play truth or dare, and I was dared to hook up with my crush, but in order to do it, I'd have to touch tongues with my friend Josh. I did it and my crush is now my girlfriend. In Berlin, a friend of mine had to walk through a graveyard with his pants pulled down pretending to be a dog. The funniest part was when there was a couple sitting on a bench minding their own business, when suddenly this stoned guy walks up to them, barks at them while having his pants pulled down, went to a little well right next to them, started drinking water like a dog, then went back to them, barked again, and then just sat there for 2 minutes staring at them. Eventually he wanted to run away, but fell over his own pants. First real party was when I was 11 or something, and I was really excited because everyone else was 16 or so. Anyway, we play truth or dare and it starts out fine, but escalates quickly. Someone gets a dare to motorboat some girl there. They are both fine with it, but mid-motorboat, her parents open the door to find a room full of teens, watching a kid shoving his face in their daughter's breasts. Thanks for tuning in for this WTF Red episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the one and only AskReddit channel that will blow your mind every time.